Hey guys, this is Michael James here, and I want to do a quick video on weight loss for actors because I just had a friend post something about when to lose weight, and I saw a lot of actors start posting stupid information. I normally try to do my normal videos and have a little bit more of a positive, upbeat tone, but for this one, this is going to be a little bit of a rant, so stick with me. Actors, you do not know what the hell you are talking about when it comes to weight loss. Like, the fitness industry is a billion-dollar industry because few people know the real answers, like over here, small, and then a lot of people know the bullshit answers. So when someone says they want to lose weight, please do not give your anecdotal advice based off of someone else and then back out just like, hey, whoa. I don't take responsibility. I'm just letting them know. Because if you recommend something that's dangerous, you could hurt someone and they only knew about this thing because of you. So I don't like that because as someone who has weighed 300 pounds, tried every stupid diet, fad, whatever and stuff, and have finally cut out all the bullshit that's over here, like I've made a lot of progress and I'm still making progress in a healthy and sustainable way. And that's no thanks to the bullshit that's not backed up by science or by fact or anything else. So please, I'm going to run through some of what I found. Someone started talking about some sort of Optiva or whatever the fuck. Like, excuse my language if you don't like that, but this pisses me off. This pisses me off because they said, oh, well, hey, my friend lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks. 20 pounds in 2 weeks? That is either amazing and a miracle of modern science or bullshit that you don't want to take. If there's a miracle of modern science, everyone would be using it. That would be everywhere. That would be like the dollar bill. And widely accepted, and everyone does it, and it's widely researched. They took no credit, told a personal story that's very sad, and then deleted it, and then said, hey, well, I'm just providing this for a friend to help them out. And they were free to Google it, but, everyone always likes to dip out with a peaceful apology, like, hey, this is just for them and whatever, and they take no responsibility. Google the side effects. Google the side effects that say like how it can cause hair loss, issues with your gallbladder, the whole host of issues because it's not natural to lose a bunch of weight. Like 20 pounds in 2 weeks, that would be phenomenal. I would love that. Especially if it's not water weight. Because yeah, you could lose water weight and severely dehydrate your body within 2 weeks. Not recommended. Not by any sane person, but like cool. And this is the problem is people can say this and then just back away like, I'm just putting this out there. Don't put it out there. Do your research. Like you're not helping a friend or you're not helping a person who really wants to lose weight to give them something that's detrimental. That's like, oh yeah, with a quick Google search, I just found out that this could kill you or this could put you in the hospital. Like, are you being a good friend? Are you being a friend? That sounds more like an enemy if you're telling someone something that could put them in the hospital, but you leave that part out. So moving on away from that bullshit, uh, I'll go to vegan and vegetarianism. People, stop telling that to people, especially if you don't even live that lifestyle. Stop promoting it as some sort of cure-all. Do you know why a lot of weight loss programs and strategies and fads work? Is because if you cut out something critical and reduce calories, you will lose weight. That's not magic. I'm not making that up. That is applicable. There's a professor, or I'm sorry, a school teacher who let his high school students design a meal plan around McDonald's that would help him lose weight. He lost weight, and because the kids followed caloric tracking and they planned his meals and stuff and he lost weight. You can lose weight doing almost any sort of caloric restriction. So why tell someone, oh, well, just give up meat? Like, if they want to, fine. That's their choice. Like, vegetarian, vegan, cool. I respect that if that's your choice. But please stop, especially if you don't live that lifestyle. Please don't start trying to get other people onto that lifestyle. Yeah, you can lose weight if you cut out anything. There's the carnivore diet. People lose weight just eating meat. Yeah, you will, like, it will happen. Are these things healthy and sustainable? Like, if you don't know, if you don't know about your macronutrients or macros, and a lot of people don't, or your micronutrients, why the fuck would you tell somebody to go do something that you don't know, like some of the ground information, like, oh hey, maybe you just became a vegetarian, maybe you just became a vegan, but then you started eating meat substitutes, thinking, hey, these are fantastic, this is vegetarian, and then you don't know that it was made with compounds that like increase the caloric density. So it's just like, oh yeah, this is like 500 calories and like doesn't really satisfy your micronutrients and blowing out your sodium or your cholesterol or any other stuff. You can be very unhealthy if you don't know what the hell your micronutrients are or your macronutrients are and how those come into play. So please do not say vegetarian or vegan if you don't know this stuff. I mean, there are tons of healthy vegans and vegetarians who will tell you like, hey, these are this is where I'm getting some protein supplements. Here's where I'm getting, like, they can break down, yes, this is where I'm getting my fiber because I wasn't realizing this, or this is where I'm making sure to supplement my iron. And they can break that stuff down, and that is phenomenal. That's not what most people are doing. They're just saying it like, oh, this is cure-all. Like, please, if you're not doing it, don't say it because you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and you're just half-ass throwing something at someone like, oh yeah, I know people can lose weight. You can lose weight by cutting out a like meat. Yeah, cool. Carbs, cool. Someone posted, oh yeah, just cut out yellow and white food. I was like, okay, so potatoes, which I eat all the time, corn, which, okay, maybe, but then squash, zucchini, yellow bell pepper. Like, what's the point? Like, it was, and I had to ask, like, hey, can you show me some research on that? Is there some peer-reviewed research? Because maybe, like, this is the problem with anecdotal information. Sometimes your buddy said something or did something or you lost weight and it's like phenomenal, but then you're trying to replicate in someone else and you're not presenting all of the all the other factors that were going on in your life. So like, hey, I was walking more, I was doing this, all these things that can help promote healthy weight loss. You kind of just left out, and then you say like, oh yeah, I just cut out white foods and yellow foods. Why? Like, if you can't tell me why or show me research why, it's stupid. Like, that's like, cool, like you can lose weight, but you're kind of just guessing, and that's not good. That doesn't help people. And like, it's frustrating because I weighed a lot more than I weigh now. And I remember that every day. And then when I see people say these things, it just pisses me off. Actors, like, there are a lot of shortcuts that you've heard about and people swear by and then were never really explained. And you'll just take that as fact. And maybe it works a little bit, but is it working is it helping you help in the long term sustain weight loss, sustain muscle growth, be positive for you? You don't know. And that's the problem. Like, you can realize what you don't know for a lot of other things in acting and say like, okay, I don't know how to act. Let me go to an acting school. Let me find an acting coach. Okay, I'm not booking. Uh, Let me go to an agent. Let me go to a manager. Let me do these things to, like, I don't know what I'm doing. But when it comes to fitness or weight loss, piece together a lot of information from things you heard in fad diets. Intermittent fasting is another popular one that people like to talk about. And they say research, like they kind of like mention research that is a little inaccurate. It's like, oh, hey, it had these benefits in rats. That's like a key thing. Like understanding where what research was done and not just highlighting the quotes like, oh yes, it was promotes cellular regeneration. Intermittent fasting is just your body starving. There's nothing spectacular about that. Oh, to help you control your insulin levels. Yes, not eating for a specific point of time after you have spiked your blood sugar and increased insulin production by eating. Yeah, your insulin levels will go down. Like there's nothing magic about that. Hey, why don't you have some low glycemic food so that you don't spike it as high? And it can help. So then when someone says like, oh, well, cut out sugar, it's like, yes, that will reduce insulin spikes. There are all these little things that if you just look into, like, that's how that happens. So if you like intermittent fasting and it works for you and then you can do it long term, phenomenal. Do it. It's just starving and then reducing your window to eat. And so you eat less, so you lose weight. But like, is that what high performance athletes do? Is Michael Phelps just like, well, when he was competing, was he just like, I am not going to eat for the next 16 hours so I can lose? It was like, no, you eat for performance. And that's a big thing. You can, yes, if you just reduce calories, you can do a lot to reduce your weight. But otherwise, if you don't understand, like, that's just so frustrating. Like, fine, if you like it, enjoy it, that's cool. But please do not quote research that is only citing what happened in rats. Like, yes, a lot of research is conducted on animals, unfortunately. And some of their anatomy and some of their stuff lines up. So it's like, hey, this is a indicator, but that doesn't mean it holds true for humans. And then sometimes further research disproves is like, hey, this only worked in rats. But then you will never have, if you didn't look for that information, you would never pick that up and then took that with you. You just give it saying like, oh yeah, this works. It's just like, yeah, but it works in rats, not humans. Because while there are some similarities which allow for certain testing, it's not just one for one. So please don't just take it as one for one. There are tons of peer-reviewed research articles that you can find from like Brad Schoenfeld to just like, fine, if you don't want to read, YouTube videos from like Jeff Nippard or these people who like got degrees, got experience, and put all the things together, and then we'll present it in a factual basis going back to the actual research. You're going to say like, hey, well, maybe he's just selling me on this, but like, oh no, here's the research. And then like linked to it so you can grow your knowledge base and grow your mindset. So please, please, please do not just take your health advice from stupid magazines or people on set or people who have no experience. Like people always say like, okay, well, go to a doctor. And then you find out a doctor has, I think it's like 12 hours of nutrition, like 12 hours in their whole program because it's not the biggest emphasis for them. It's like, okay, let me not go to necessarily a doctor, not that they have the wrong information, but they don't focus on that aspect as much. Okay, nutritionists, they spend a lot more time than nutrition. They can go into this, but you might get textbook examples based off of whatever research they learn, because as soon as you graduate school, your information base can be slightly out of date to majorly out of date, and you never pick up any additional information until you do additional studies and continue to do additional studies. So that's why one of the reasons why I love bodybuilding and I grew my knowledge base from bodybuilders, because they're practitioners. They're like, not necessarily. Some of them actually have PhDs in this stuff. And so I appreciate like Stephanie Buttermore or Jeff Cavalier. Some of these people actually have advanced knowledge in this and they stay up on their knowledge and stuff, and then they cite their work. And so it kind of goes into, because Jeff Cavalier is not a bodybuilder, but someone who's focusing on sports medicine and nutrition, and yeah, that kind of stuff matters and makes a world of a difference, because I don't want just textbook answers, because textbook answers may not necessarily work. Yeah, hey, just reduce calories. Just blindly works. Or I've had friends that put on juice diets or other cleanses or other sorts of bullshit, which work because it still fundamentally plays into cutting and reducing calories, but like that aren't long-term success, because nutritionist, it, like anyone else, is a student, and you have some A plus students and you have some C plus students. And you don't really know, because no one walks around, like someone may have graduated from Harvard or wherever has the best nutritionist program, and wow, that's a really good school, and you see that degree, and then it doesn't say like, yeah, they A plus, or like, yeah, they barely made it with extra credit. Like, you don't know this stuff, so that's not to discredit nutritionists, because there are a lot who know their stuff, and that is phenomenal, and I appreciate them, because it's just like, yeah, I can hear this stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's correct. And then there are people who are just giving like cookie cutter responses that kind of work for everyone, and they don't even have the results that they advertise. And that's important, don't you think? I mean, if you want to be ripped like Thor, as svelte as Scarlett Johansson, uh, as physically strong as Brie Larson was in Captain Marvel, like, shouldn't the person have had experience getting there? Because sometimes they don't, and there's a lot of people just give like bullshit information and like don't have the results, and then whoever they tell you about doesn't have the results. So like, just being skinny or just being slightly athletic doesn't necessarily mean you know what you're talking about. I'm never going to say, hey, look at me, oh hey, look, and then listen to me. I'm just going to kind of show my progress, and then kind of show, like, point people to where they can find information, because I want people to be successful, and I also want people to be successful on their own. Not just, hey, like, here's the only way to do it, which there's not really only one way to do it, but like for long-term success. And here's how you can find out and grow your knowledge base so that you can be successful with or without me. There's that. And then there's just like, actors, please be put the same amount of effort into you're trying to look the part, or actors, directors, uh, casting directors, agents, managers, whoever it is in Hollywood. Please put the same amount of effort that you would put into your chosen profession into weight loss, because I'm sure you know when someone's bullshitting you in your chosen profession. Someone just comes in and says like, "Oh, hey, I just put this, and this with this person," or they say something and then you realize like, oh, that's off. Oh, they're lying to me. Oh, they're a clown. And some of the stuff is really easy to look up. And like, hey, if you start lying about your credits, oh, cool, casting director will like reach out to another casting director, or look you up on IMDb, or look into the show, and it's like, oh, yeah, this person was never on that. And it's very easy to prove. But then when you step out of your comfort zone, sometimes you forget how to do that. You forget that, like, hey, you can prove, oh man, this strange diet doesn't work if I just Googled it for 10 seconds. But people sometimes forget. So this is why you have to be accountable to the information that you provide to other people when before you say like, hey, do X. If X is fucking dangerous, like, you are responsible for telling someone about X, because maybe they would never have known, never have tried. But like, no one's ever gonna take responsibility for the fact that like, oh man, I told someone to do this, and 6 months later they're in the hospital because they did exactly what I told them to do. Like, go get blood work. If you're like, go get blood work, go get checked out, do some research. If you're going to promote any sort of lifestyle that like you will not show research to, like, or have results, like, I'm ranting because I'm mad. I'm mad because there are so many people who like want to help from a good place in their heart, but they're going about it in a terrible way. And that hurts people's progress and success. And like it just causes more confusion, more chaos. So please, 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 actors, shut the hell up. If you don't factually know the background, the physio, like everything that's going on behind the scenes, and you can't be like, oh, okay, cool. You shouldn't be giving advice. Like that's dangerous. And like I'm never going to say like, oh man, this is the only way, or like I'm always going to defer to, hey, this is where I got my information. I'm still always learning and growing, and trying to just get better. But like it becomes painfully apparent when people keep going back to bullshit that's been debunked. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You like Atkins diet. All right, cool. 2007 calls it wants its fad diet back. Please, please, please get correct help. The fitness industry is a $1 billion industry because it's counting on the fact that most people don't know what the hell they're talking about. And some people who still even have results are just trying to get you to become paying customers that have to come back to them or have to stick with it to keep getting the results. Like before you get a trainer or someone who you're spending like large sums of money on, for some people, you should know like what's the goal timeline for like progress, because if it keeps requiring them to still be there for a long time, like that, are they really helping you or are they helping themselves to your wallet? If there's typically they say you can average 1 to 2 pounds of healthy weight loss, fat loss a week. Sometimes if you're obese, maybe that's 3 or 4. Like just truthfully, because there's going to be maybe some fat loss or water weight that's dropping off and stuff, and so that's that happens. But then there's kind of a timeline where you can start figuring things out, so you can see like, hey, am I losing a healthy amount of weight consistently based off of my nutrition? You don't have to lift weights and go crazy in the gym to lose weight. Like it's helpful. It gives you the form, gives you the boosted metabolism because you have more muscular tissue that is where your metabolism lies. But you don't have to. And I didn't even do cardio for most of the time. I lost my first 30 pounds when I was coming down from 234 to 204 and then to 200 pounds. Like I didn't do cardio then because it's not required. And you can go ham on doing cardio, but why? Like why? Especially if you have a life, if you have other things you want to do, if you're acting, you're trying to be on set, you're trying to do all this stuff, like be judicious with your time. Don't just fall for every stupid diet that someone tells you and then they don't tell you the negative side effects. They don't go into any of this stuff because you're just going to waste your time. So thank you for the rant. Please, I'd love to engage people. So if you have comments, feedback, whatever, post in the comments. We can have a dialogue. But be open to like growing your information base. And I can tell you, I've done almost every stupid diet up until a point, and it's like, oh man, I've seen other people who have and they didn't get results. And I can have that conversation about why I'm saying what I'm saying, but you should be able to say that too, and potentially be that and be able to admit if you're wrong, because it's only a battle if you just get into the cycle where it's just like this ever-going battle and stuff versus like, hey, I figured out how to lose weight and get to the point where I want to be as smart as possible. So thank you for your time.